What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Impulse Distance Driver in Neutron plastic. This one is by MVP, of course. Great disc. Had a lot of fun testing it. A little bit of a dilemma disc for me because I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep it or not, but whatever, we'll get into that. So let's take a look at this guy first. I did a spin die on this one that I think came out really great. One of my favorite spin dies I've done. It's just one color with that really beautiful neon day glow greenish yellow with the orange on top of it. It just ends up looking really cool. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's take a look at the rim design of this guy. This is a previous owner's ink on the inside there. Get this guy out of the way for now. So it's I think it's got maybe a slightly smaller rim than the other discs in its class, mainly the inertia, which I have the most experience with. But good disc. This one I got is was used, so it does have some damage on there, which could make it a little bit more understable than it was when it was brand new. See, like right there, it's a little scuffed up, but nothing too major at all. No, nothing too deep. Just kind of like surface rash from probably from skipping off sidewalks or stuff like that. So this disc has a really flat top on it, which I think makes it feel really good in the hand. I love that flat top feel. It makes me feel like I can get more hand on top of it, and it just feels good to me. Let's throw an inertia in there just as a quick reference. Here's my last remaining Neutron inertia that I have. I'll give you a little bit of a lighter background to look at the differences in shape. So they're relatively similar, but there are some definite differences there. The inertia also has a little bit more of a rounded profile, for sure. Definitely not nearly as flat, although definitely not like a domey disc. I think these two look great together. I think they make a really good looking pair. Some spin die action. I love it. So, yeah, the Neutron plastic feels great. It's not always the grippiest plastic. This particular one has definitely got a good feel. Again, think that flat top nature and the kind of comfortable rim make it all feel really nice, and I'm pretty happy with the feel of the disc. On to the flight. So, yeah, kind of not sure if I'm going to keep this disc or not. It is really straight flying. It is a great Hyzer flip distance disc for sure. It holds a turnover very well. It's pretty similar to the inertia. I would say it's maybe like a broken in inertia, although in my experience, it seems like the proton inertias, at least in the weight ranges that I throw, or I used to throw, because now I throw pretty much exclusively the protons, these like to ride out a little bit more and then kind of come back and hit that MVP forward pushing fade, where the Impulse seemed a little bit easier to get it on just a dead straight line start to finish. So if you're looking for something that's, if you like the inertia but you want something that holds a little bit straighter, most of the way, I think the Impulse would be a good disc to check out. I kind of expected it to be a little bit more understable than it is. I didn't have too many problems with it, like accidentally flipping over. I am really comfortable throwing understable stuff. I love to throw on a Hyzer, so I'm pretty good at getting stuff to not flip over accidentally. That's probably something I really don't have issues with that very often. I see a lot of other golfers accidentally overpower stuff. Could be that I'm just a finesse thrower and I don't have a lot of power, so I don't end up doing that too often. And it's also the fact that I throw on a Hyzer most of the time. So yeah, I didn't have a lot of trouble with this thing flipping over. That being said, if I wanted it to go left to right, it's pretty easy to get it to do that. You give it that little bit of angle and it holds it nicely. I didn't really try any rollers with this disc, but I think it would work well for that. So let's see. So if you are a bigger arm player, I would say this would be a really good kind of powered down Hyzer flip distance disc. Also something that you can get to ride right quite easily, either all the way or just for a certain period of time, and then kind of finish flat, or maybe come back a tiny bit at the end depending on how high you throw it. For me, I was really liking it for just dead straight Hyzer flip shots, and kind of, you know, just finesse Hyzer flips more than anything. It flies really far, and it's really easy to get to go nice and straight. If you were a beginner looking to try out a new, some new drivers, and you never checked out any MVP, this would probably be a good one for you to check out, because it's got a lot of enough high-speed turn that you can get a nice straight flight out of it, and it's also got very little fade. Most of the time when I was throwing it didn't really fade very much at all, unless I threw it up high and let it kind of fall out. But if you throw it, lower on a nice hyzer flip line, it just goes very, very straight with a lot of glide. So it's a fun disc. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, just because I can kind of cover the same lines with my Proton inertias. But we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.